Alright traders, I am back again with another video. In this video, before I get started, I'd like to just take a chance to wish you a happy holidays, wishing you had a blessed and merry Christmas, and also hoping that you have a blessed new year as this new year approaches. Um, we want to take a chance here to look back at a trade that we talked about, which was the silver trade. So it was one of our really good trade setups that we just recently had. So what we do, we send out these trade setups. We don't really call them trade alerts because, yes, I'm alerting you of a trading opportunity, but it's also a setup. So when you take the courses and stuff, when you take my courses, you understand these setups and you know these setups. So I just call it a trade setup rather than a trade alert. People get so hung up on these different things that you call stuff. So I don't want to say trade setups. I don't want to say trade alerts. So what this is I'm going to show you the videos that I put out to the members at the time of this silver trade. So you're going to be able to see this trade develop from the beginning before it even was into fruition. All right, so when it was back here before it ever even started to move to this point. And we're going to show you two videos how we got into the trade at this point, and then how we got into the trade at this point here, at point 3. So we first had our first entry right here at where point 1 is, and then our second entry was what point 3 is. Now we suspected that the market would move up to the cloud because the cloud was resistance and then pull back. So once the market starts making a new move to the upside, you see the 1 2 3 pattern, and then the market takes off. Then we used our Ichimoku observation theory to find our targets, and our targets was going to be, this was one of our targets. You also want to get to the flat top of the cloud and then the daily Kijun-sen. So our targets right here, we've already got to our target. This was our main one target here for Ichimoku value observation levels, and we got through that target. So the market continues to move. Now the market's going to follow this Tenkan-sen very well. Tenkan-sen, Kijun-sen, and a strong trend. It'll stay right above your Tenkan-sen level, and you can see how strong it is once it gets a little farther. But the market's going to start to pull back and find equilibrium once this gets flat. So once Kijun-sen gets flat, the market may pull back to Tenkan-sen all the way back to Kijun-sen and then bounce and then continue back to the upside. So here you should probably, if you're in the trade still, you should probably put your stop loss up under this indecision candle, because it's looking like we're going to develop quite possibly an evening star formation. All right, so when I see indecision like this, I like to be just below the wick here because the market's probably pulling back to a good level. Probably going to pull back from after the nice move to the upside. All right, and then you get another chance to get back into the market when the market reaches this area. So let's go back, look at what we were talking about so you can understand and see how we take our trades, how not only do I talk about things that have taken place, but I talk about this stuff before a trade. So I want you to see how this all works out all in one. All right, because a lot of people say, well, yeah, you could do that after the fact. We don't do this after the fact. You see after the fact because sometimes you're not seeing everything that you see that members see, so you don't get to see all the details that we post. But here was a trade setup that I'm going to post that we posted for the members, so you could look at this. So remember the things we talked about and where we talked about entering, where we thought the market may go. And a lot of this is due to us understanding Ichimoku and then understanding fractals. All right, and with that, that's all we really did. Okay, and price action also. Sorry, I didn't really mention that because price action helps us to get into a trade. The levels are basically Ichimoku and fractals, but the price action helps us get into a trade. So those are the things we talk about. So look at this video and see what you like. And if you're interested in becoming a member with us, we're offering our lifetime membership right now till the end of this year. Once the end of this year happens and 2018 arrives, we will have no more lifetime memberships. So currently you could have a lifetime membership and get these same trade setups and be in our chat room and also in our forum and also our daily and weekly live webinars. So let me show you another member that has taken this trade and how they're doing so far, and they're still in this trade. So let's look at that, then we'll look at what we were talking about prior to the market ever even taking off to this point. So here you're looking at our chat room. So earlier today I posted the trade set up as it was prior, and I wanted members to go into the forum and make sure they look at this from beginning to end. So I posted this and then asked a couple members if they were in this trade or still in this trade. And here was one member that was in this trade, and I'm going to show you exactly what she did here. So she caught this trade. You could see where her entry was, where we talked about previously back here. And she caught the trade. You could see this green arrow. Hard to see, but you could see this green arrow. And she took the trade, and she's still in this trade at this point because she understands the market structure, the fractal structure, the support and resistance levels in Ichimoku, and understands how the market moves pretty much. All right. And there's some signs on this chart that help her to know that price may continue to the upside, and she didn't change her bias until she sees the opposite of those signs. So she's following this thing and currently in the trade right at this point. So here you see I had asked her about the trade, and she said she got in the market at the level that we talked about during our live webinar. So sometime you catch these things during a live webinar because we talk about all the markets. So you're able to see those things. So let's go relive this trade, see what we talked about, how we got into it. And remember, part of the video on my second video seems like it kind of muffled from my I have some bad speaker system here right now. I'm trying to fix it up. Got some shorts in it, so it was messing up a little bit. I didn't know. But hopefully you enjoy this, and again, if you're interested in becoming a member, then it's there for you till the end of the year for a lifetime membership. If not, you can continue to learn from what I'm showing you on YouTube. All right, traders, have a great one. And till next time, God bless. Here comes the previous two videos. All right, guys, I am back again with the remake of the silver dollar trade setup. Apparently, I had my button off and my mic was muted, so it was all messed up. So now I have to sit here and do it again. All right, so I'm going to do it quicker this time. Hopefully you guys understand. I'm going to do it really quicker. So basically, this is the daily time frame. Looking at that daily time frame, you can see this strong support and resistance level, and I made this into a zone here because you got a wick that's super long from the bottom of from the top of the zone down to the bottom. All right, but if you look back farther in time, you could see how strong this level was. This level was support 4 times within the last, since 2015, May 2016, sorry. But prior to that, it was also support, resistance, support, and probably even back farther, it was even more. So it's a super strong line, super strong level. So we want to take advantage of it, and the things that make me want to take advantage of it are basically some Ichimoku signals, which basically we have a flat Kijinsen. So I'm going to move that. You see that flat Kijinsen there? All right, and then you see how far Tenkan-sen is getting from Kijinsen? That's starting to develop a C-clamp. So we'll see a nice big C-clamp. The market will come down, C-clamp, and then it has to come back. You're going to see flattening out on the top of this cloud here, and then you're going to see this start to roll over, and then we got to have a move to the upside, and then we get full blown. That's how it develops, but not saying that that's going to happen, but you're going to see this at least roll over a little bit, and then it could still go back to the downside. We're not saying that the downside is over or the market can't go back to the downside. We're saying we're expecting a pullback at least to this level, and more than likely up to the Kijinsen. So that's where your trading levels are. So basically you ask me, where's my targets? 1, 2. Look at your targets, put a level there, a line there, and make sure you go for those targets. That's your daily Kijinsen is your overall target. And then let price action tell you if it's going to go past both of those levels, because it still could go farther, go past here, it even go past here. But then once you start getting so high, start looking to your left for target levels, all right? Because that's going to be prior support and resistance levels for target. So since we got a flat Kijinsen and we developed a trading inside on one candle here, there's a couple things I was talking about looking at here. You're trading inside on one candle, and then you have the third day you have indecision, and now it looks like we're attempting to move off of the indecision and off of the support and resistance level to the upper side. So let's go to the 4-hour time frame, because that's where we're going to get into our trade. So I talked about this where y'all couldn't hear me, so I'm going to talk about it again. You could see the strong divergence here. Big time divergence on the 4-hour time frame. All right, and you could see that level went down, and then we went flat, and then we should see it move to the upper side. All right, So what I'm looking at now is taking a trade. There's two types of entries we could look at here. One entry is automatic. It's sitting there waiting for us. It's the break of this fractal level. If we break that fractal level, you could put an entry at that level. And if the market hits that level, that's your entry. Or you could wait for the close above that level. Or you could look at this here. You see this here. You got another candle inside of it. If the next candle closes outside of it, you got a 3 inside up, or you're trading outside of the box, so you're inside out trading. So you got a couple opportunities to trade long. Now people would look at this and say, well, Ichimoku's telling me bearish. Yes, but Ichimoku's not always right, because the market pulls back. Ichimoku doesn't take that into consideration because it can't react fast enough. So if the market's going to just pull back to this level, Ichimoku's not going to be quick enough to catch all that. Alright, so what we normally would see here is the market violates this level, and this could still be moved to the downside because you're going to see something like this. So if the market violates our level here, we're going to see the market move higher, violate our level, and it could approach the cloud here, no telling where it's going to go, but come back to our level here. So if you miss the trade, if you're afraid to take the trade, watch for it to come back. Now on a strong trend, it's not coming back. You may want to mark this level to see if it comes back to that level, and then watch the market go higher. We can do our 1, 2, 3 pattern, 1, 2, 3, and then we'll shoot for 4 right up here, so we would know where to go. So just looking at this trading opportunity, I don't need to give you exact numbers, exactly where to enter. I'm showing you the levels to enter at. So we want to go back to the daily because we're going to use that for our stop loss. Alright. So be below the lowest low here, a couple wicks below. I mean a couple pips below this low level. All right, and then your entry is based on the 4-hour time frame. The 4-hour doesn't align with the daily right now. This is where you're going to enter, maybe. So you have a level there, so you know your low is your stop loss, and then you have a level here, and then your overall target. Watch for this level because that's going to be a target also, because it's going to probably pull back off of that and then attempt to go higher. Now sometime the market ranges here and it may not give us the opportunity we want, and it would probably range more so on the daily time frame. It wouldn't go too high, and then the market breaks back to the downside. But we're looking for it to pull back because we're flat. Kijun-sen's flat, but boy, if you see Kijun-sen start aiming to the downside, get worried, because it could represent that the market's starting to take off back to the downside, building up momentum. But also it could also be Ichimoku divergence, where you see the price moving up but Ichimoku moving to the downside. It'll be divergence. Okay, so that's what we're looking at. You got an entry there. There's an opportunity for a pretty good trade here. I talked about a couple other things in the previous video, but I don't feel no need to really discuss what we did previously. We're going to just try to enter this trade, and that's your trading setup, your trading opportunity for today. So hopefully this helps you guys out. Hopefully somebody's watching this and taking advantage of it and being able to catch some of this profit that silver may yield to us. All right, guys? Until next time, have a great one. God bless. So long. All right, members, I am back again with a quick video on silver. We want to look at silver real quick because we want to continue to update this thing, because there's some good possibilities here. We probably should have already been into a trade. You should have, if you would have been following the analysis that we have here on this form. We mapped this whole trade out from beginning to where it is currently, so you could see the whole process just looking at the whole form postings. Okay, so we're going to go to the daily to start off real quick. But with the daily, we already said that this was we had a big nice little C-clamp coming here. That was the big thing, the C-clamp. When we had that C-clamp develop and we found the flatness of your Kijun-sen, then we found our bottom. We suspected this was our bottom, but then we talked about we made a new bottom here, so you could see that this fractal made a new bottom, and then price violated this level. This is where we wanted to get into the trade, but this was the maximum level that we wanted to get into the trade. So we talked about getting into the trade, and we feel that price is going to move to the flat Kijun-sen. But when you go back to the 4-hour time frame, it all plays out pretty well because we entered the trade on the 4-hour time frame. So when we're looking at the 4-hour time frame trade, we wanted to get in on the break of this fractal right here. This was the fractal break that we wanted to get into. Now we marked this level also. This was the first fractal that really was violated, as far as moving to the upside. And then we were looking to pull back to this fractal right here. This was the fractal we wanted to pull back. We didn't want to pull back to as deep as this. This was a flat fractal pretty much, but we wanted to pull back to this fractal here. We also said once our break, we wanted to look at the market hitting the cloud and then coming back down for a 1, 2, 3, and then we're seeking 4. We found 4 based off of just the fractal, the daily Kijun-sen level. All right, so that's going to be where our target is. But also, if we look at, let's put these Fibonacci extensions in here, and these numbers are set up based off of Ichimoku analysis. These aren't your normal levels, but the one level is. So if we look at Ichimoku, our 1-to-1 level is going to be right here. So you want to mark that level because that's going to be your true first target. Well, actually not your first target. We said our first target was the cloud. And then we want to get to this point here. This is going to be also one of our levels where we're looking for profit. All right. So I'm going to take this off the chart. This is going to be our end value, which is going to be 1-to-1. So 1, 2 equals 3, 4 will take us here. Now this is the daily Kijun-sen, so that's what we're shooting for overall. But we're looking at 1636, 337 right here for a target. Another target where we look at, see what price does there. If price can violate, we'll take this target here. But the market's playing out just as we suspected. So go back to where we first started this posting and see what we were talking about here and how we were going to get into our trade and see how it all played out. See where we looked at resistance levels for the market to fall back. We had a 1, 2, 3. I mean, everything that we talked about just pretty much played out here. And it couldn't have been any better than what we already have here. So this is how you want to set up your trades. This is what you want to look for. This is what you want to be patient for. That's why I always tell traders, be patient. You'll get these trades, because some traders jumped in up here, all throughout here, and didn't realize that you were going to get hit with resistance here, and then the market dropped, you're in a drawdown, and you're still probably just trying to break even now. All right, and some people who get into a drawdown are going to close out their trade because now they're afraid that the market's going against them. But then once they do that, the market turns and goes their way. That's why I always tell you to be patient. Yes, you see the market running and going away from you, but that doesn't mean you're not going to be able to catch a trade. You caught this, if you caught it down here where we talk about, you caught a better trade down here than you did here, because at this point we had indecision. We had a 3 inside up right here. We just boxed this one candle in and the trade above that level, and we're in a trade again. All right, but when we took this trade, we take the violation of the fractal, because we were talking about the level here, not the close. The close is up here. We wanted to enter the level. So go back and review what we talked about. We wanted to get in on the level because we were only shooting for this target, and then we were looking for the market to bounce off of the fractal here, which it did, and then it moved higher. Now we need to violate this fractal to continue. We're trading inside this one candle currently. All right, so this is what we're looking at. We're looking at the market shooting at this target. So everything that you plan and show and play out is based off of just really looking at the daily time frame, because when we look at the daily time frame, we already said where our target, overall target was. We already said that we thought the market would move higher. So all we did was go down to the 4-hour time frame and play it out and find how it would happen. And once we looked at it on the 4-hour time frame, everything just played out perfectly. Now the only thing that once we hit our target up here, this trade will be as perfect as you can get it. And this is what we look for in all trades, okay? So if you're going to be trading, don't be worrying about the market moving past your level or moving to a point it's getting away from me, I can't catch it. You could always get some profit. All right, if you're patient. If you're not patient, you're going to be in losing trades. All right, so this is setting up just like we thought. I don't think there's an opportunity to enter now. I mean, you could enter on the fractal break, but it just puts your stop loss farther. This was the entry down here at 3. And we already talked about 3 level before it even got to 3 level, because we knew and we see the same things in the market all the time. So if you just see these things and look for these things, you'll catch some of these things. It's not going to be a 100% guarantee, but it's going to be a good opportunity. So hopefully this is helping you guys out. We'll keep this up to date because we may get even more out of this market. We'll update it once we get to our next target and see what the market's going to drop or whatever, because it may go into a range from that point and then violate to the upside again. All right, so just keep in mind that trees that are slow to grow bear the best fruit. Be a tree that's slow growing. You'll get the best fruit. Until next time, guys, have a great one. God bless. So long.